Good morning students, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to continue from our previous topic that was about types of microorganism, and today's topic is algae. Now I think when you imagine about algae, it is quite easy for you to understand its structure or how does it look. Why? बिकॉज बैक्टीरिया इतना छोटा है कि आप उसको अपनी आंखों से नहीं देख सकते, तो उसको सोचना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है. सेम विद वायरस. पर अभी वायरस, क्योंकि आप कोरोना वायरस के बारे में काफी दिनों से सुन रहे हैं, तो आप सबके दिमाग में उसका स्ट्रक्चर याद हो गया कि कोरोना वायरस कैसा दिखता है. जरूर उसका डायग्राम आपको अपनी कॉपी में बना लेना है. बट एल्गी एक ऐसा माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म है जिसको हम देख सकते हैं. अक्सर इसको आपने अपने घर के आसपास जहां भी वाटर स्टैग्नेंट होता है, पॉन्ड्स के ऊपर, इसके अलावा दीवारों पर, वेयर हैंड पंप इज देयर, कहीं पर भी जहां पानी है, you will find algae over there. The green color thing covering these areas is called algae. So it is easy for you to conceptualize algae. What is algae and how does it look? Now that algae is not actually one algae. Algae is actually a plural form. Algae जो है ये plural form है. Algae किसी एक माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म का नाम नहीं है, ये कॉलोनी का नाम है. मीन्स ये बना है एल्गा शब्द से. एल्गा जो है ये सिंगुलर फॉर्म है, और जब हम इसको एल्गी बोलते हैं तो ये बन जाता है प्लूरल फॉर्म. इसका मतलब कि जब जो एक एल्गा है वो सिर्फ एक माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म है. बट जो एल्गी हम अपने घरों के आसपास देखते हैं, जो ग्रीन कलर का कवर होता है, जो सब जगह दिखाई देता है जहां पर भी पानी है, वो एक्चुअली कॉलोनी है एल्गा की. यानी many alga together form algae. Now this algae, as you can see, green in color. How it is different from other microorganism is that it is green in color, therefore it can do photosynthesis, and its structure is also different. It falls in both categories, means it is both unicellular and multicellular. Now we are going to write few points about algae also. Now let's write few points related to algae. That what is algae? Algae is again a microscope which is both unicellular and multicellular. It generally exists in colonies. It contains chlorophyll. Therefore, do the process of photosynthesis. So we can say they are autotrophic in nature. Now, a very important point is that algae is thought to be the primitive plant. मतलब जब प्लांट डेवलप होना शुरू हुआ था, जब प्लांट पहले आया था, तो जो पहला फोटोसिंथेसिस कैरी करने वाला जो प्लांट था, उसको एल्गी को ही माना जाता है. सो दे आर प्रिमिटिव प्लांट्स. Therefore, there are different type of algae found almost around everywhere, in water, on land, on the surface of pond. Wherever the water is stagnant, where there is water, you will find a cover of algae over there. We'll draw some structure of algae. We will draw some structure of algae now. Now I'm going to make a diagram of a unicellular algae and a multicellular algae. Note this down into your notebooks. This is flagella and this is nucleus. This is Chlamydomonas. Which is a unicellular algae. Whereas Pyrogera is a multicellular algae. Draw this diagram into your notebook. This is Pyrogera, which is a multicellular algae. Apart from this, there are many other algae such as phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is found in marine ecosystem, and they are the important part of the marine ecosystem because they are the producers of the marine ecosystem. Means they form the base of many food webs and food chain of the marine ecosystem, and they are the one who are responsible for the production of 50% of oxygen that is found on earth. Means all the oxygen which is there on earth, which we all are using for the process of respiration, 50% of it is coming from phytoplankton. And phytoplankton is also very important because they form the food for many animals which are living in marine ecosystem such as jellyfish and all. Now I will move to the next topic about algae, how they are useful to us. Algae is very much useful to us. One, we have seen that they form the food for many animals, but apart from this they are also used for human consumption, means for many other purpose. We'll discuss that later in the useful effects of useful things about microorganisms. Now here I would like to add one point more, that algae reproduce both by asexual method and sexual method. So they are reproducing both methods. Apart from this, algae is a very important part of the nitrogen fixation. That is one of the major step in nitrogen cycle. We will discuss that later on in this chapter only about nitrogen cycle and what is nitrogen cycle and what is nitrogen fixation. So the algae are useful in the fixation of nitrogen. So that now the next topic which we are going to discuss is the next type of microorganism, that is fungi. Fungi is very microscopic, and on other hand they are large enough to be seen by naked eyes. For example, mushroom can easily be seen by naked eyes. So they are microscopic and also large enough to be seen by naked eyes. Fungi is both unicellular and multicellular. Fungi are also referred as non-green plants. Why they are referred as non-green plants, anybody? The reason is they don't contain chlorophyll. Now where you can see fungi? Fungi can be easily seen in many places. Means in this rainy season you will find that fungi can easily grow on leather, on clothes, fabrics. Like if you have worn any t-shirt or any garment and you just keep it like this, after 1 or 2 days you will find that a white color patch has grown on that t-shirt. Or if you have not used your leather shoes, leather bags, leather wallets or anything made up of leather that was organic, it is you will see that this is covered with complete white patch during raining season because the weather is quite moist and warm and humid. Therefore, this fungi can easily grow on these surfaces. Now we will discuss an activity to know much more about how the fungi can occur. So the next activity is about the fungi. Now let's discuss an activity. This activity is 2.3 and it is given at the page number 31. Now, as you can see, the aim of the activity is to observe fungi in bread. And the materials required are bread container, preferably a closed container, means a container with a lid, water, magnifying glass. Now what you have to do, or maybe you people may have done or may have observed this at home, because this is a very common, you can say, incident which can be seen easily at home, that sometimes if we keep something, any food item in like casserole, if you have kept roti in casserole, chapati in casserole, and if it is not opened for 2 to 3 days, if you have left it out and if you have not opened it for 2 to 3 days, you will see that there kind of a patch, a green color patch grows upon roti. That is fungi. So what you have to do in this activity is, we have to take a bread and we have to moist it with the help of water. मतलब हल्का सा पानी से bread को भिगा लेना है. Then keep it into a container and close the container for maybe 2 to 3 days. After 2 days, open the container and observe what has grown on in the bread by magnifying glass, and it can be easily seen by naked eyes also. What you will observe is a patch of fungi that can easily be seen. So कोई भी खाने की चीज हो, कोई भी चीज जो ऑर्गेनिक है, उस पर फंगाई बहुत इजीली ग्रो होता है, इसलिए हम फंगाई की ग्रोथ हर जगह देख सकते हैं. ये आपको कई बार पिकल्स में दिखता है. Pickles means if you are touching pickles with wet hands or wet spoon, you will find the fungi has gone. A cotton kind of surface has gone on the pickle, on shoes, especially during rainy season, like जो अभी का मौसम है, इस वक्त अक्सर आप बहुत सारी चीजों में जो खाने की है, कपड़े हैं, जूते हैं, लेदर की बनी हुई चीजें हैं, उसमें आपको फंगाई दिखेगा. रीजन, क्योंकि फंगाई आराम से वार्म, ह्यूमिड या मॉइस्ट ह्यूमिड जगह पर जो है ग्रो करता है. So the next thing we're going to discuss about fungi is the characteristics of the fungi. Now I'm going to draw fungi. So now here I have drawn two types of fungi, Rhizopus and mushroom. Now what are the other characteristics of fungi which we are going to discuss? That fungi reproduces through asexual method, such as through spore formation and budding. Next, the mode of nutrition in fungi is saprophytic. अच्छा, अब आपको ये याद होगा कि सेप्रोफाइटिक मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन क्या है, पिछले साल हमने पढ़ा था. सेप्रोफाइटिक मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन इज व्हेन द न्यूट्रिशन इज टेकन फ्रॉम डेड एंड डिकेइंग मैटर. मींस जब न्यूट्रिशन, जो चीजें मर चुकी हैं, उसमें से लिया जाता है, तो वो सेप्रोफाइटिक न्यूट्रिशन में आता है. Fungi is a saprotroph. So it shows saprophytic nutrition. It is getting nutrition from dead and decaying matter. Now fungi can be both useful and harmful to us. They can be useful in the form that they are a source of food, like mushroom has been eaten by many people. Plus, it is a source where it can act. It is a source from where penicillium is taken from. Means it is a source of antibiotic. Plus, it can be also harmful by causing several kind of diseases. Now the last in this topic is about protozoa. Protozoas are microscopic and they are unicellular organisms. Most of them live in water, but few are found in soil also. Now, in your previous classes, you may have seen this organism. Yes, you are right. This is amoeba. This is Paramecium. You may have studied in your previous classes about them. Now amoeba, Paramecium and one more example, that is Euglena, are freshwater unicellular microscopic organisms. They reproduce through a sexual method. Which includes budding, spore formation, and binary fission. Now, what kind of mode of nutrition does protozoa has? Now, protozoa is actually having two types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. One is parasitic and another one is saprophytic. So they take the nutrition from dead and decaying matter, and they also becomes parasitic towards any other living organism. It is estimated that most of the living organisms are parasitic. It is estimated that protozoa lives in a parasitic mode of nutrition in most of the living organisms. Means many of the living organisms are there which are affected by one or more than one protozoa which lives in them as a parasites. So the mode of nutrition is parasitic and saprophytic. I hope you are understanding that what is parasitic mode of nutrition, what is saprophytic mode of nutrition. I have already mentioned that saprophytic mode of nutrition is a nutrition in which dead and decaying matter the nutrition is taken from dead and decaying matter. Whereas in parasitic mode of nutrition, the organism is living on another organism. Means एक organism दूसरे organism के ऊपर जो है वो रहता है, वो होस्ट बन जाता है वो organism, और दूसरा organism parasitic होता है. तो यहाँ पे प्रोटोजोआ जो है they are parasitic also and they take nutrition from saprophytic also. There is one example in Euglena which contain chlorophyll and does autotropic nutrition. Now, what is one thing which is very much seen in the case of protozoa is that they have either some or other type of body appendages which help them in the movement. Like in case of amoeba, it does not have any proper shape. It has an irregular shape. So these pseudopodias help in getting nutrition. Whereas in case of paramecium, the cilia helps in the movement and also traveling towards the food. Euglena, it contains flagella, which is a hair-like structure, which again helps in getting the nutrition. Now, what is the benefit of protozoa or what is the effect of protozoa? Generally, protozoa is pathogenic. It causes diseases. For example, Entamoeba histolytica causes Entamoeba histolytica means amoebic dysentery, which is caused by the presence of amoeba. And number of times you may have seen that during rainy season, many of the people are affected by disease like malaria. Then the disease is, as we know, that is spread by mosquitoes, which are very common during rainy season, but it contains Plasmodium, which is a protozoa. So during rainy season where there is stagnant water, on the surface of stagnant water, Plasmodium is easily breeded, and from there it is being carried by mosquitoes. So another effect of protozoa is that it causes malaria in the human beings. So this is all about protozoa. Now let's discuss about the next topic, that is about habitat of microorganisms. In a previous topic where we were discussing about the types of microorganisms, we have seen that where does these microorganisms are found individually, means where is bacteria found, where is virus found, where we can see protozoa. Now I'm going to sum it up all and I'm going to write about the habitat of microorganisms. Habitat of microorganism मतलब microorganism कहाँ कहाँ पाए जाते हैं. If we see, microorganisms are found on land, they are found under soil, they are found under water, they are found in hot springs, they are found in glaciers, they are found in marshy lands, they are found in chemical prone places, means if there are any places where there are a lot of chemicals are found, they are found in those places also. Now they are present inside the body and they are present inside the living body. And they are present in the dead bodies. They are found both as free living and in colonies. So you can see over here that they are found almost everywhere. Everywhere, as I mentioned in the starting of the chapter only, that they are found in all those places we can imagine and all those places we cannot imagine. So they are found almost everywhere. So these microorganisms which are found everywhere are microorganisms, are very small, microscopic in nature, but definitely their size vary when we compare them from each other. Now we have seen that these are microscopic organism, means microorganism, but definitely their size varies. Means if we compare them from each other, their size varies from each other. And virus are thought to be the smallest of microorganism. Now which is the largest microorganism and which is the smallest microorganism? We'll come to that. Now I'm going to write down the largest microorganism. The largest microorganism is Theomargarita namibiensis, and the smallest microorganism is Mycoplasma genitalium. The size of the largest microorganism is 0.3 millimeter, whereas the size of the smallest microorganism is 200 to 300 nanometer. So this is the largest and smallest microorganism, means they are smallest or largest between all the microorganisms which are still found. Now in next class we'll discuss about the benefits and harmful effects of microorganisms.